In the quiet, timbered farmhouse of a small German town, a candle flickers on a meticulously set dining table. There is a bottle of fine South African red wine, the best cutlery, and an atmosphere of chilling, clinical calm. But the man sitting at this table is not celebrating a typical milestone. Armin Meiwes, a soft-spoken computer technician, is about to consume a meal that will challenge the very foundations of international law and human morality. He is not just eating. He is fulfilling a lifelong fantasy that has haunted him since childhood. Across from him, the seat is empty, yet his guest is present in the most literal, harrowing sense possible. This is the culmination of a pact made in the darkest corners of the internet, a digital handshake that led to a real-world nightmare. To understand how a polite neighbor becomes known to the world as the Rotenburg Cannibal, we must look back at the childhood of Armin Meiwes. Born in December 1961 in Essen, West Germany, Armin's early life was defined by a profound sense of isolation. His father, a police officer, abandoned the family when Armin was only 9 years old, leaving him in the care of a deeply controlling and dominant mother. This early abandonment created a void that Armin struggled to fill. He began to develop an obsessive fantasy about having a younger brother, someone who would be a part of him, someone who could never leave. By the age of 8, these thoughts had already taken a dark turn as he fantasized about devouring his classmates to achieve that permanent bond. As Armin grew into adulthood, he maintained a facade of perfect normalcy. In the town of Rotenburg, he was the helpful neighbor who mowed lawns and repaired cars. He served in the German army and established a career as a computer technician. Yet, beneath this mask, his pathology was fermenting. The death of his mother in 1999 served as the final catalyst. No longer under her watchful eye, Armin began to explore the burgeoning world of the internet, specifically chat rooms dedicated to the most extreme and taboo fetishes. It was here, in the anonymous digital ether, that he realized his secret dreams were shared by others. He didn't just want a victim, he wanted a volunteer. In March 2001, Armin posted a plain, direct advertisement online seeking a well-built man between the ages of 18 and 30 for slaughter and consumption. While many might dismiss such a post as a dark joke or a role-playing fantasy, for Armin it was a business proposal. He received hundreds of responses, but he was legalistic and selective. He sought a specific level of commitment and repeated, informed consent. He rejected several candidates who showed signs of hesitation or panic. Then, he met Bernd Jürgen Brandes, a 43-year-old engineer from Berlin. Brandes was a man who harbored a reciprocal, lifelong desire to be consumed. Their correspondence was clinical and certain. In one email, Brandes wrote, "There is no way back for me, only forward through your teeth." The events of March 9, 2001, at Armin's rambling farmhouse were captured on a 4-hour videotape that would later become the most crucial and gruesome piece of evidence in the trial. The evening began with a shared meal and heavy consumption of alcohol and medication intended to dull the pain of what was to come. With Brandes' full cooperation and verbal consent, Armin began the process of dismembering his guest while he was still alive. They even attempted to consume a part of Brandes together before he lost consciousness. In the early hours of the morning, Armin finished the act by stabbing Brandes in the neck. He then meticulously processed the body, freezing nearly 20 kilograms of flesh to be consumed over the following months, storing it alongside everyday items like frozen pizzas. For over a year, Armin lived with his secret, continuing his life as a quiet technician, while slowly consuming his guest. He even continued to meet other men from the internet, though he did not harm them. The darkness was finally brought to light in December 2002, when a university student in Innsbruck stumbled upon Armin's chat room postings and alerted the authorities. When police raided the Rotenburg farmhouse, they were met with a scene of terrifying order. They found the slaughter room Armin had constructed, the videotape of the crime, and the remains of Bernd Brandes. Armin Meiwes did not deny his actions. Instead, he offered a defense that would paralyze the German legal system. He claimed it was a quote, killing on request. The trial of Armin Meiwes became a global sensation, sparking intense debate over the limits of personal autonomy and the definition of murder. At the time, cannibalism was not explicitly illegal in Germany. His defense argued that because Brandes had given repeated, documented consent, Armin was guilty only of, quote, killing on demand, a charge that carried a much lighter sentence. In January 2004, the court initially agreed, sentencing him to 8.5 years for manslaughter. However, the public and the prosecution were outraged. A retrial was ordered, with prosecutors arguing that the sexual motive behind the killing elevated it to murder. In May 2006, the court reversed its decision, convicting Armin of murder and sentencing him to life imprisonment. Today, Armin Meiwes remains behind bars, having been denied early release as recently as 2018. His case remains a haunting case study in the intersection of digital subcultures and extreme pathology. It forces us to confront a terrifying question about human nature. If two individuals give full consent to an act of ultimate depravity, where does the state's right to intervene begin? The Rotenburg Cannibal case reveals that even in a modern, civilized society, the most monstrous impulses can be planned with the cold logic of a technician and executed with the politeness of a neighbor. It serves as a chilling reminder that the darkest parts of the human psyche do not always hide in the shadows. Sometimes, they are hidden in plain sight, behind a friendly smile and a meticulously set table.